Good evening and welcome to the TCV8 League here in NXTGEN for Season 18, sponsored by Paramax. We're here at Zhuhai for round number 4. Should be a cracking race. Zhuhai, everyone's in the BMW 320TCs. We've got Iceman LUFC, RS Jim, is making a return to the series. Traumatic Dave, AMH Racing, Beam Flicker, our resident fall guy Johnny, Shadow Stalker, Tim, DY House, Four Fish, Next Gen Les, Bruce Lee Harding, and Jack TM53 Synopsis round this 2.68 mile track here in China. So, get into qualifying, 5 minutes, 2 minutes 40 remain as people start getting their laps in. We'll go on board with someone in their next set of flyers. Their Shadow Stalker. Let's have a quick look at the tables whilst everyone's going around on their first flyers. Next Gen Les leads the way on 56 points, but only 6 points behind is Cam123 Diz, who is unable to make tonight. Iceman is got 42 points. Jack is on 40. AMH on 39, Four Fish 35, GT5 Vass on 31, Rally Matt 26, Traumatic Dave 19, Shadow Stalker 18, D Whitehouse 7 is on 17. Bruce Lee Harding also on 17 after they both disconnected last time out at Zolder. Johnny is also on 17. Ultimatum on 3. And Tim on 3. So let's go on board with someone. Let's go on board with Jack for a change. So Zhuhai, 2.68 miles. Bit of a weird gear change. Maybe that was just a bit of servicing. Turn 1. You're going to hit the brakes between 50 to 100 meters down to second. Get it tucked in. Let the car roll out to the outside through turn 2, up towards turn 3, a flat right-hander. Keep it pinned as you then head towards the tight corner of turn 4. Down into second gear, clip the curb on the left, use some of the curb on turn 5. Towards turn 6 again, should just be a flat right-hander in these cars. Hit the brakes for turn 7. Down to second, hairpin right. Back on the throttle as early as you can. Flick it through turn 8 before you're going to hit the brakes in a straight line for turn number 9. Hit the brakes out the curb. Or at least there is no curb. partly past the brownish curb. Turn 9, just a tight left-hander. Turn 10, slightly more open, but you can't quite take a flat. You've got to take a little confidence lift to make the front end bite. Down towards turn 11. Qualifying is now over. Hit the brakes at about 75 metres. Second gear again. Get it tucked in, and then go power through turn 12. Turn 13, a flat left-hander. Absolutely pinned from Jack. Then you hit the brakes with a treacherous turn 14. Got to be careful of the curbs. They will spit you off if you're not careful. Jack keeps the power on. As little gear change as possible. Puts it third on the grid for now. Dramatic Dave, the last man to come up to the line. What can he do? He's currently 10th. Qualifying is over. At Zhuhai, AMH takes the pole position from NXTGEN Les, followed by Jack, Fourfish, Iceman, Johnny, a good qualifying by him, Bruce, DUI House 7, RS Jim, Traumatic Dave, NGR Tim 78 in 11th, Shadowstalker rounds us out for row number 6 in 12th place. It's going to be one hell of a race to have. Give it a minute or two just to allow the drivers to have a quick chat. Quick little thing, for Zhuhai opened in November 1996. It's held races for the FIA GT Championship, A1 GP when that was back in session, the Formula V6 Asia and the Chinese Superbikes. The race lap record round here set by Frank Montani in a Peugeot Sport Le Mans car in 2010 for the Intercontinental Le Mans Cup, 1 minute 22.296. Let's get it underway. We have 3 red lights. We are green here at Zhuhai. It's a quick getaway. And it looks like AMH just about has the legs on Les as a few in the mid-pack start jostling for position down towards turn number 1. They will hit the brakes into the first corner. And AMH will continue to hold the lead. Fourfish currently in 3rd. Jack has gone backwards. He's now 6th place. And Bruce Lee Harding, I don't know what's happened to him at the start, but he's at the back of the pack now. He's got a lot of work in front of him. Whether he got caught up behind Jack, if Jack had a little bit of a slow start, is a possibility. But it is AMH who leads from NXTGEN Les from Fourfish. Down towards turn 8 and 9. 12 laps we have of this. And here comes Les looking to the outside of turn 9 on AMH. Can't quite get there. Fourfish looking to the inside. Can he get the overlap for turn 10? Looks like he can. Can't quite make it work though. Decides better of it. Down towards turn 11 and 12 we go. Bruce already back up into the top 10. And that looks like Jack. No, sorry. That's Johnny. Johnny up into the top 3. He's got a belting start here then. Looking at Fourfish side by side into turn 13. Will he try and keep it there for 14? The answer is yes, he is. Oh, he clips the back and around he goes. That was always going to be inevitable. Johnny just not quite fully alongside into turn 14, and Fourfish was always going to take that line. Just quick tag on the rear end, and Johnny's round. Jack, TMP3 synopsis. Currently in the top 5. Traumatic Dave did a decent start, 6th place, but he does have RS Jim, the returning driver. They head into turn 4, 5. RS Jim gets him through 4. Just simple down the inside from Jim. Traumatic Dave, not a lot he could do about that, but he's now got DY House behind him. The battle of the days will continue, but Bruce Lee Harding looks to make the move into turn 7, is not close enough to do so. We will Jack now up into 4th place ahead of Iceman as they head through turn 8 down towards turn 9. I'm going to keep our eyes here because D. Whitehouse is now past Dramatic Dave into turn 9. Bruce Lee Harding looking to the outside. He's going to keep it there. Dramatic Dave forces him off the road. And I can assure you that Bruce is not going to be too happy with that one. Dramatic Dave forced Bruce Lee off there. Whether Bruce would have completed the move or not is a different matter, but unfortunately Dave didn't leave the space that Bruce deserved. It was a clever little move from Bruce Lee Harding looking to the outside. Meanwhile, at the front, Les is looking to overtake AMH. Looks one way, looks the other. AMH doesn't flinch. Doesn't fall for any dummy effect here. As Les gets it a bit squirrely out of turn 1 through turn 2. And Fullfish is going to take the spoils into 2nd place. It's going to give AMH a nice 7/10 gap, even though that sounds very, very little. It's a big enough gap right now. Bruce Lee Harding has got past Dramatic Dave, looks like into turn 1 too. But he's now looking at the back of D. Whitehouse for 7th place. And looks to the inside, potentially defending as well. Bruce does get his nose down the inside of D. Whitehouse as they now head down towards turn 8 and 9 on lap number 3. The 2 BMWs side by side. Will Bruce continue to look round the outside? The answer is no. He was looking for a switchback but couldn't quite do it. He didn't quite time it correctly. He went too early. Now, unfortunately, D. Whitehouse is still there, and Bruce now on the grass. Out of turn 10, up towards turn 11 now. He's got Dramatic Dave down the outside of him. Dave couldn't quite make the move stick. And Bruce is now back to having to chase down D. Whitehouse 7, whilst also looking in his mirrors for Dramatic Dave. Back at the front though, and AMH extending his lead now to 0.8 of a second. As Les now looks on Fullfish. To the inside. Fullfish almost lets him go, really. The concertina effect of the corners. So he showed Les about 0.6 behind AMH. Now he's back to 0.8. But if Les and Fullfish can just work together here, they should get up to the back of AMH. Through turn 6, up to 7. Again, Fullfish looking, but not really doing anything silly yet. Actually, thinking about getting up to the back end. Bruce Lee Harding still trying to chase down D. Whitehouse 7 after that little moment after turn 10. He's being very much bothered here by Dramatic Dave just behind. Into turns 9 up towards 10. Back to the front because the gap is now closing. Fullfish and Les working together. Les now within half a second of the orange BMW. That's the only battle that's going to be brewing. Jack and Iceman are also quite close on circuit now. Through turn 14, can Les do anything about AMH? He's lost a bit of time though, lost a bit of momentum through turn 14. Jack runs a bit wide. Across the line for the leaders. Fullfish goes to have a little look. Les just about does enough to shake that thought out of his head. A little bit of almost wheel spin there from Fullfish, just straining him up for through turn 2. He is a little bit bumpy down there. But Les, a bit of a late braking manoeuvre. Just about keeps 2 wheels on the curb. Got to be careful through there. Meanwhile, Bruce Lee Harding, they've dropped Traumatic Dave. So it looks like a little mistake from Traumatic Dave. It's now allowed Bruce Lee Harding to go full attack mode on D. Whitehouse 7. He looks to the inside again, decides better of it, looking for a good exit. And they head down towards turn 10 and turns 9 and 10. The red, white and blue BMW versus the black and white mist BMW. Up towards turn 11 they go. Bruce Lee Harding now starting to almost having to bide his time a little bit here. Meanwhile, Johnny and Shadow Stalker having a little battle of their own. Tim a little bit more further behind in his BMW. See Johnny having to put in a bit of a recovery drive after that spin through turn 14. Iceman's got past Jack. Jack wide again through turn 14. He's going to have to sort that line out if he wants to try and get back onto the back of Iceman. There's no on the back. We're going to go on board with here. He's got a nice little view, although a little bit of a mistake there from Fourfish. Too much curb. Lights the wheels up. Doesn't quite get a good exit, but we've still got a nice prime time view of the battle ahead, and you can see Les looking to go side by side with AMH, heading down towards turn 8 into turn 9. And continue to stay on board with Fourfish for now. Very much squeezing between AMH and Les. Just about a car's width being given. Perfect defence from AMH. Brilliant racing from the pair of them. But this battling's going to allow Fourfish to get back into the fray. They head into turn 11 now. Les really looking to get past that orange BMW now. Fourfish a little bit skatey on the exit. Too much power too early. Through turn 14, we know AMH is strong through turn 14. This time, though, Les has managed to keep up with him. Got a good run himself. Can he use the slipstream into turn number 1? Into turn 1, side-by-side action between Les and AMH. AMH looking to go around the outside. Can't quite make it because AMH's line through turn 2 is far superior. Turn 3. Nothing Les can do through this corner. He's going to have to set it up for turn 7. Although, he has a bit of a nudge on AMH into turn number 4. AMH carries on, but Fourfish is going to get past Les. And can he get a nice run on AMH? The answer is no, because he's still going to be fighting Les through turn 6 up towards turn number 7. Les falls back in line. Les very late on the brakes into turn 4. Just tapping the back of AMH. Good sportsmanship, though, to allow AMH to carry on in front of him. Flash of the lights, don't know why, but down the inside goes Les on Fourfish, and AMH just running wide. No contact. A little bit of a twitch from AMH going into the corner, and it's cost him 2 places. So Les now leads from Fourfish, from AMH. AMH now looking to go down the inside of Fourfish. Didn't quite make it work. Down towards turn number 13 and the final 14th corner. Bruce Lee Harding still behind D. Whitehouse. We're going to keep an eye on that. Hopefully try and catch a bit of that battle. But at the moment, the leading trio are fantastically racing away. Once again, Jack in the background getting wide through turn 14. Into turn 1. AMH back past Fourfish. Can he get up to the back of Les and retake the lead? The orange BMW obviously very reminiscent of the RAC BMWs back in the day. Turn 4. Turn 5. It looks like AMH might... He looked like he was bound to get a decent run, but couldn't quite finish it. But you can see here the fight for 6th place is now starting to get a bit dicey as RSGEN goes a bit wide. Does slow down to take a little bit of a penalty for a slight corner cut. So D Whitehouse through, RSGEN down to 8th. Good sportsmanship by him. Bruce Lee Harding and D Whitehouse 7 going at it. For 6th place. We're here already on lap number 8 into turn 9 and 10 for this trio of BMWs. Four Fish. What's happened to Four Fish? There he is, he's off. That's turn number 10. He's going to come back on behind this trio. Meanwhile, Bruce Lee Harding, I thought he was looking for a move then on D Whitehouse 7 going into turn 11. Didn't quite pan out. So Four Fish, after all that hard work, keeping up with these two, goes off at turn 10. So now we have a two-way fight for the lead. But if they keep on fighting like this, Iceman could catch up to these lot very, very easily. Four Fish now on the tail of RSGEN. RSGEN now going defensive into turn number 1. Four Fish actually gets the move done before the turn. Meanwhile, Bruce Lee Harding is still trying to find a way past D Whitehouse 7 here. Mr. BMW picking up a very nice defensive drive. We head into turn 4. Bruce a little bit later on the brakes. Doesn't quite get the right exit either. The car looked a little bit slided. Meanwhile, side-by-side action between Les and AMH down towards turn 8 and 9. AMH has a little look to the inside of 9. Couldn't quite make the move. He was close enough, but maybe thought better of it. Thought there was a better place to overtake the BMW of Les. Out of turn 10, they're going to come up to lap traffic of Tim. Again, thing out into turn 11 and 12. Decides against it. Tim staying well off the racing line, does not want to get involved in this leading battle. He knows he definitely doesn't want to ruin anyone's day. Through turn 14. And here comes the run. AMH is far superior through 14. We already know that. He's going to go alongside Les to the inside of turn number 1. On lap number 10 we go. Les looking to go around the outside. Can't quite do it. Can he maybe make a switch back through turn 2? Yeah, has been known to be able to be done. Hasn't quite got the run. So Les to set AMH once again. So head into turn 4. Oh, Les looking to the outside of turn 4. I wouldn't have tried that one. That's going to lose you a fair chunk of time. And it has. A half-second gap has opened up for AMH. Nearly 6/10. That was a very risky move from Les. I almost think that he's hit the brakes and just realised he's not going to make the corner without hitting AMH. So he's gone wide to make sure he doesn't hit him. Meanwhile, Bruce Lee Harding still looking at the back of the Mr. BMW of D Whitehouse 7. And he's starting to come under attack himself from Four Fish. Through turn 10 they go. And once again, oh, that is RSGEN into the wall hard. Out of turn 10, just too much curb. Sends the orange BMW round. On board with Four Fish once again as we look at the back of Bruce Lee Harding. This for 6th place and just ahead is 5th. Bruce not daring really to touch the curbs. He's not got a good run coming out of 14, and Four Fish doesn't need a second invitation when the door opens like that. Down the inside. Bruce Lee Harding will probably just tuck in behind. When I say that, he's going to look for a bit of a switchback through turn 2. Doesn't quite get the run he was looking for, so slides back into line. Maybe he can try and use Full Fish to get past D Whitehouse 7, get back up into 6th place. D Whitehouse 7 doesn't get a good run though, coming out of turn 5. And there, Full Fish will be looking to get past D Whitehouse 7 as early as possible. D Whitehouse goes defensive into turn 7. Good exit though by Full Fish. He's going to force D Whitehouse 7 to defend into turn 9. They flick it through 8, down towards 9. D Whitehouse 7 has the line. Oh, and a bit of tap between Bruce and Full Fish. Bruce looking to go down the inside of Full Fish on the exit. Maybe even just being caught up by how slow the exit was. Into turn 11. Minus turn right now. Jack TM53 Synopsis going through turn 14. This time doesn't run wide. But just lose a slight bit of time to Iceman. He's looking to try and get that podium. Meanwhile, out of 14, here comes Full Fish. He's got a nice run. He's going to have to look to the outside, I think. And Bruce Lee Harding just waiting for something to happen here between these two. Through turn 1, D Whitehouse defending like his life depends on it. Full Fish getting a little bit skatey on the exit, but it almost helps him get to the inside of D Whitehouse for turn 3. Oh, and Full Fish are going to try and slide down the inside. Didn't quite work. Again, very opportunistic. That just about a car's width door opens up. And Full Fish is straight in there. This time they're around the outside of turn 7. Can't quite make it work because D Whitehouse 7 down the inside. Full Fish getting squirrely on the curb. Allowing Bruce Lee Harding back through down towards turn 9. Bruce Lee Harding just about realising Full Fish down the inside of him. And contact between Full Fish and D Whitehouse. Full Fish carries on. D Whitehouse is probably not going to be happy about that. He's gone round. It's going to cost him another place to RS Gym. AMH Racing now rounds the final corner. Because he will win here at Zhuhai. From Les, from Iceman, from Jack. Bruce Lee Harding will take home a top 5 place if he can keep Full Fish behind. But it wouldn't surprise me if that one heads to the stewards. Bruce Lee Harding comes across the line for 5th. Full Fish in 6th. RS Gym will come home in 7th place. D Whitehouse defended very, very well, but it's unfortunate that he ended up getting tangled up with Full Fish. 8th place for him. Traumatic Dave will come home in 9th. Tim in 12th there. Johnny in 11th. It's just Shadow Stalker to come through. Shadow Stalker comes out of turn 14 across the line for a top 10 place. Good stuff by him. Nice little points package for him. So, provisional results from Zhuhai International Circuit for the TCV8. Round number 4. It's AMH. Yeah, it's round. No. Yeah, round 4. It is AMH Racing, followed by NXTGEN Les, followed by Iceman, followed by Jack, followed by Bruce Lee Harding, Full Fish in 6th. Jim is in 7th, D Whitehouse is in 8th, Traumatic Dave 9th, Shadow Stalker 10th, Johnny is in 11th, Tim rounds out the pack in 12th place. So what's next up for the TCV8 League? Well, we head to Red Bull Ring where we unleash the beasts of the championship for the first time this season. The V8 supercars come out to play at the Red Bull Ring. It's going to be one hell of a race around there. Lots of slipstream, lots of overtaking potential. So stay tuned for that one. But next up for tonight is going to be my point of view of the Clio Cup. So stay tuned for that one if you want to watch that one. But for myself and everyone here at the group, at the TCV8 League, thank you to Paramax for sponsoring the league. It's been fantastic to have on board. And thank you guys for watching at home tonight. But for myself and everyone here, thank you for watching. Good night.